So in last week's video, I gave you the story about the Tomaschek, Don Giovanni, Mozart metronome speed indications. In the second part of this video, I will play you the introduction according to the so-called metrical interpretation of those metronome numbers. But first, I go with you through some essential elements, the conclusion, so to say, of last week's video before we go to the practical demonstration of the introduction of Don Giovanni at the clavichord. Basically, the story was about Tomaschek, born in 1774, traveled to Prague in 1791, where he heard the Don Giovanni Mozart opera played basically by the same orchestra as Mozart conducted the opera, its own opera, in 1787 with. So, in 1839, so a long time after that, a gentleman named Mr. Fink, who was an editor and an author for the Allgemeine Musikalische Zeitung, he wrote a very strong opinion piece. He asked Tomaschek to give him, for publication, the speed indications, the metronome numbers, as he remembered the Prague Orchestra in 1791 perform Don Giovanni. What is surprising, however, is if we dive into those metronome numbers, they are really fast. I've given in last week's video a small fragment, digitally manipulated, I have to say, of one aria, 10 seconds of Don Giovanni. I give it also here. So singing 9.2 syllables per second, it's technically maybe almost impossible, but the average performance, Mozart performance of 1839 must have been way faster. This is something within the historically informed performance practice, whatever that means, that must make us think. It's not possible that Fink in 1839 published those numbers as a proof that Mozart was played way slower in the days, 18th century, than people were doing in 1840. Only if we would assume that people of those generations in the 19th century were in a genetic way different than our body system and muscular system, it's impossible to reach those speeds. Nobody can sing in 14-15 syllables per second. There has been a lot of reactions on the videos I've been making on this single beat, double beat interpretation, and I can understand that because it's emotion. If you're a musician, if you're a listener, that music, and certainly Don Giovanni and music of that level, is we are emotionally attached not only to the music but also to the performance, to the sound, to the speeds also. And it's not enough to slow down. It brings a whole new culture of playing with that. It takes you months, if not years, to adapt to that. It's a really new way of playing. So I will now in this video give you the beginning of the Don Giovanni, the introduction, according to the Tomaschek numbers in the metrical system. If you don't know what that is, there is a video I've made, an interview with Lawrence Guardian. I will link it here as well. You can check it out, but basically it's a very simple theory. It's written about a lot in the 17th, 18th centuries. To measure time, you need 2 points. You cannot measure time by 1 point, because 1 point is not giving you an indication of a time measurement. Time measurement, that's only possible when you have a movement of 2 points. Movement going up and going down in the speed of 1 second, and if you go up and down, you have the time measurement of 1 second. So you need 2 points to measure 1 point, and that's basically it. It makes sense if you reconsider that and you connect, and that's also one of the topics of this channel, Bach to Beethoven, you know, you go from Bach tempo ordinario, then the notation system becomes clear, and either in Mozart's and Beethoven's time, the speed went up by 150%, or there is a line going up to today. That's for another video. So we go now to the clavichord and give you some indication of how that introduction might have sounded. So starting with the introduction with the andante, I can promise you, you will be shocked. And I will explain you a little bit how you come again to beauty. So that's 92 for the quarter note, what Thomaschek is indicating. So we read this as 1, 2, 3, 4 for the quarter note, or we take this for the 8th note, which works in practice the best. Then you have the beginning. I will not touch upon notation. That will be for another video. It's long enough. So it goes like this. And I octave everything because it doesn't sound well here. It's very different as how we are used to play that music in one bow of tension. It's yum, pom. It needs another way of playing also. Accentuation is very important in that. And then he's speeding up a little bit. So after this kind of Deus ex machina feel of there's something big on the scene happening, there is silence. And then comes this. I cannot play the melody long enough. And then. And listen now to the 16th notes, how they come in. So of course I cannot play on clavichord. I need my pianoforte for that. So that might be of a shock to you, certainly the beginning. And then the building up. But this only works when you have this first beat strong enough. Like Leopold Mozart says, make the accentuated note as long as possible, and then these. And then the 16 notes are really, they're not ornamentational, they are structural. So in most of today's performances, they are just kind of, yeah, like you would play late romantic music, some whispering, but they are whispering, but they must be very clear, and then they have a function. Okay, just go on to the molto allegro then. That's 132, and by the way, there is an edition 1822 by Schlesinger, who has about the same metronome numbers as Tomaschek, so they are not so exceptional, the Tomaschek numbers, but they are a little bit faster. And for this movement it's faster, but I will take the Tomaschek number, which is 132 for the half note, and reread that for the quarter note. And that if you know Don Giovanni very well, you will be shocked anyway. If you don't know Don Giovanni, this will sound very natural. Check the tempo again. I have it. I'm playing 8 notes now. So that I think this really is no. If I wouldn't have the metronome numbers by Tomaschek, I would play that music like that. And of course, you can play it a little bit faster, a little bit slower. It's up to the performer, but that's the range I think that we should take into consideration. And that makes sense if you go to the story again, back to the beginning of this video by Fink, who wanted to have these metronome numbers to demonstrate, to really prove to the performance of those days, 1840, and a lot happens in those days because you can read other sources, other musicians on an age, because that's the old generation of musicians that start writing about the new generation, why are they playing so fast? Then it makes sense, because you can increase these tempi easily by 30, 40, 50%, and then it's then still playable. So there is a line from Bach to today of tempi that's going up, and I think in the historically informed performance practice, that's to close this video with, and then I will make another video on that specifically. I think they rediscovered, so to say, the metronome numbers, and they thought, you know what, our previous generation is playing slower than those metronome numbers, so let's restore that by going even faster. And I think they had to go back to this level. So that's the line. We are now here, and I think we should go back to that. That brings a whole new culture with it, and it's very difficult. But I can promise you, if you once are there, if you once would have witnessed Don Giovanni in that tempo a few times, you will never return again, because it gets way more emotional. But that's my personal stand. Anyway, that was a long video. I think it's important. We will cover this way more in the future, maybe not weekly, but structurally, and we will work on a new edition of Lorenz Guardian's book, which is here. So, all things falling out. So, Takt und Pendelschlag in German. We will rewrite this. We will make an English translation out of that, and we will surround this book with very practical information and also examples. And also what's not included here, and we will, is the notation, because notation is tied in directly to tempo. That's the thing the composer needs to do first when he has an idea. Find the right notation for his music. So understanding that is really important, and it ties into that. And for me, that's the most important thing. It's the notation. So anyway, thanks for being with me here so long. I hope you are not too much shocked. Remember, music is emotion. We are emotionally attached to what we know. It's difficult to change the ship, so to say, a little bit, but we'll do that over time, I think, if you want to do that together with me. If this is your first time out on Authentic Sound, I'd love to have you subscribed to the channel. There is also a mailing list for Authentic Sound. You can find a link below. You get the ebook, 350 pages ebook of Authentic Sound with a lot of information about the channel and about me and the clavichord. So check it out. Please feel free to comment on this video what your personal stand is, what your experience is, what you think about this. But anyway, give this video a thumbs up, and we see each other very soon again. Bye.